Today we are working on Fat Quarter Shop's Designer Mystery Block of the Month. This is block 5, and the block includes the Scotty dog. The borders are part of the finishing kit. So I do show you the amount in this video. I show you the amount of fabric that they give me and what I have left over after I cut it up. So many people have enough left over to make a second quilt out of this. I'm not sure if it's sold out. I will send a link to you for the block of the month if you're interested through Fat Quarter Shop. And in the second half of the video is of me sewing it up together. So I hope you watch it. If you get any value from this video or you like this, please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm working on the Designer Mystery Block of the Month, Block 5, My Best Friend. It is from, it looks like Me and My Sister's Barb Groves. I'll double check if that's Me and My Sister's design, but I'm pretty sure it is. And then here's the fabric. Put my starch can here for scale. I end up using, I think it is about half of the fabric when I make one of these quilts, one of these quilt squares. So I'll cut this out and come back and show you, and then we'll sew it together. Okay, so I got block 5 cut out, and you can see it here. I wanted to show you, this is the fabric I have left over. Those are my scraps. I'm just going to throw these away. I won't keep them. But now we'll work on getting this sewn up. Okay, so checking out the pattern, this isn't super complicated. It looks to be just a basic star that's made with these 4 flying geese, and we make that and then we move on to the dog. So I'll show you, I'll do a video of me working on sewing this together. These pieces that I am sewing up here are pieces Q, which is the red, and F, which is the cream. These make up the points of the stars. They end up being flying geese is how you put them together, and you can see that I am chain stitching these here to put them together. I chain stitch one side, trim off the edge, then I take them over to the iron, and then we'll sew the other half. So here you can see that I've ironed that half. Now we're going to take the other Q piece and we're going to sew it on in the same way. Again, we'll chain stitch them. Now on this part, you can always pin them, or you can use a basting sewing glue to hold it on. You can use like a sewing glue stick, or you can use a liquid glue if you like. You can also draw a line on the red squares to have that perfect diagonal. This is the center square. This is piece T. And so the finished flying geese, 2 of them, before I put their squares on them, I'm going to sew one on each side of this blue square. This doesn't take very long, and then I will be able to trim this up and iron it, and then we'll finish up the other 2 sides of the square. I've ironed the partially finished square, but I haven't squared it up yet. And I'm finishing the other 2 sides by sewing those squares onto the side. We'll chain piece it, sew both sides, take it to the iron, square it, press it, and we'll show you the finished star. Okay, got that all finished and trimmed up. Now moving on to the dog's head. Okay, so we finished with the star and we're moving on to the dog's face. This is piece L, which is the gray, and E, which is the cream. And we sew E on at an angle, and we do it to make a point on the gray. So I just end up sewing it, pressing it, sewing it back on. It's pretty straightforward, and you can draw a line on the back of those if you need to. But again, I have that tape to guide me. So I that's the way I've gotten used to it, so it's pretty easy for me. And you can see it's all finished there. And now we're going to do piece D and piece I. Piece D is just a square that goes on top. And then piece I kind of completes the edge there on the outside of the dog's face. After we do this, we do another piece E and L, and this is going to be the other half of the dog's face. And then here's piece A and K. This is the bottom of his bow tie. Okay, we finished the head and the star. It'll go like this. Now to finish the body. Okay, so now we're working on the dog's body. The dog's body is pretty straightforward. This first piece is like an elongated flying geese. You do the red, that's the other half of his bow tie, and then the gray is part of his tail. We end up sewing this after we make these two triangles and trim them up. We sew just a solid strip on top, which is piece B, and we iron that together. And you'll see that coming up here. So here is piece B being sewn onto that elongated flying geese. And then I'll take this over to the iron. And then we'll bring it back and we'll do piece S, which is his body. And we'll get that all sewn on. Okay, here, as I'm finishing up sewing that body to that elongated flying geese, then next I'm going to work on his legs. And his legs are these two pieces, piece R and N, and they just get sewn together. And it's a really quick sew together, and I just end up chain piecing them. And then after those are sewn together, I will trim and press them, and then we'll put piece C in between the two. So we've gotten these all pressed, and we're going to put that middle piece C. It just sews the two of them together. And then we'll get those pressed open, and we'll sew this border piece on the bottom. It's piece H, and then all of his body gets sewn together. And he's so cute. He's so cute, this little Scottish Terrier or Scotty dog. This block really did come together super quickly, and it was not overly complicated. I feel like a confident beginner could do this. So I'm just going to sew these two halves together, and then we'll have the base of our block. And then we sew on a border, and I'll show you that in a minute, around the whole block. And then we sew another border around, and we put the roof on. That's part of the finishing kit, and I'll show you how I store that. So this is my box that came with the finishing kit, and so I already have the flowers put together and the pieces cut out and labeled. And so as I finish the block, I just do each block. And I keep the pattern here for finishing each block. This is our little Scotty dog all completed with his really cute pink border. Then we have a white polka dot that goes on the sides and the roof on the top. And I'll show you when we get that done. Okay, here is our block all finished. Our cute little Scotty dog. He finishes roughly at about 19.5 by 20.5. But if you stayed till the end, thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it. Bye-bye.